calling about?
No, you may not ask what I'm calling about. What is going on? Okay, I'm getting off the double line dialer. There's such a delay. If you're struggling with your Mojo dialer, don't just sit there. Do the Ethernet cable. You want to be hardwired. It will minimize the lag time because if you think about it, I am calling off of Wi-Fi, so there's a lag. And unfortunately, right now, I am doing off of Wi-Fi. I use Flex, and with Flex, we have an app where I can go into my MLS from my phone and just text a single property to anyone. So even if I was working with a buyer, in this case, obviously working with sellers, and there's like a home that just hit the market or a home that just went pending or a home that just sold, I can text that one address to them and just say, hey, did you see this one just sold? It depends on the lead. If I have their email, then I will email it to them. Because what I always try and do is at least ask them like, hey, would you like me to keep you up to date on the market? What's your email? 80% of them will give me their email, 20% don't. They'll like, just text it to me. And that's fine. I'll just text it to them and they love it. And then sometimes it's funny because I want to say like a small percentage of those that I've been texting market reports to, and I don't do a full market report. I'm not going to give you a ton of data because that's too overwhelming for someone that you're going to nurture. You just want to leave breadcrumbs. Oh, that's a good explanation. What I'm doing is leaving breadcrumbs and leaving a trail for them. So when it comes to even emailing, I still just send them one. Unless it's like something really, really big, I want them to know, then maybe I'll send them two, but you never want to send them more than one. You always want to provide value, and the biggest value you can do for a homeowner is keeping them up to date on the market. The minimum I ever want is 7. So as long as I always get over 7, then that's considered good for me, and Mojo's being good. So 7 conversations in an hour, 0 leads, and that's fine. I would say it's primarily learning how to dig deeper, how to ask questions, which I'm still learning. There's little things that you're going to experiment on your own. So for example, when someone's like, no, I'm not thinking about selling, then it's like, no, of course not. I just figured that you're not even thinking about that in the next 3 to 5 years, right? That's when they're like, oh, in 3 to 5. Oh, so if you can just like dig another question in there before you let them go, it's very helpful. Or for example, when someone's like, oh, call me later. Oh, okay. You want me to call you later? I mean, it was about your house. Are you sure you want me to call you back later? And then they're like, oh, no, don't call me back. Like, sell my house. I'm never going to sell my house. It's like, okay, well, I didn't need to call you back later, but I got the truth out of you. So if you can always just take it another step further, and I hate that one question where people say, well, if you got a really good offer that made sense, blah, blah, blah. Like, please, somebody really has to be motivated. It's not about the money. It's about their personal situation. Are they getting retired? Are their kids growing out of school? Do they, are their kids going off to college? Do they want to downgrade? Are they having a baby and they need the space? Are their elderly parents like going to end up moving in with them because they have to take care of them? Have they lived here for 20, 40 years and they're sick of living here? And more importantly, maybe they want to go live where their children live and their grandchildren live. So I've realized it's not about the money, and everybody has a price, but the pain, the motivation of why they want to sell has to supersede the cost and how much they're actually going to net. Otherwise, the likelihood of them wanting to sell will be, significantly less. So it's not about the offer. That's just my personal opinion. And I think also when I switched over to that's when I started taking really good high quality leads and sellers and listings, because even when they talk the talk, they don't walk the walk. And they're like, oh, well, I can wait 6 to 10 months for it to sell. Because when I price a property and then I'm already talking about a price adjustment a while later, reduce it. Yes, reduce it. Like, Adela, what price do we have to get this to sell? They're motivated. And that's actually most of my sellers, thankfully. They all have a really strong motivation. It doesn't matter the politics. It doesn't matter what the real estate market is doing. It doesn't matter what the interest rates are. It doesn't matter what their neighbors are doing. It's all about them because everybody worries about themselves and their situation. And that's what you have to realize when you're talking about them. Like, what's the pain? And as salespeople, I've had to learn, I forget who exactly taught me this. Maybe it was Jeremy Miner or someone, but they said the person in control is the person asking the questions. So my job is not to talk. My job is to ask insightful questions. Jessica Arguda, I have been watching your videos all week. Wow, thank you. That's very sweet of you. And more importantly, it's to help you. So that's awesome that you're getting value and you're finding this very refreshing. So I appreciate you saying, I'm so motivated by you to do cold calls. That's awesome. Can I just say thank you to all of you? The amount of outreaches, DMs, that I've been getting and the stories, it's just like, wow, I'm so happy I'm sharing this because this is something we talked about in my inner circle because this is kind of like all we do now. Some of the other agents in my group, they do also like expireds and canceleds. I don't think any of us do FSBOs anymore. Most of us are either solely circle prospecting or do some dabbling in expires and canceled and then doing circle prospecting. And I was always just talk to them like, can you imagine if other realtors knew how we're succeeding? And it's just from cold calling. And I'm like, but what if other agents knew? Like, why does this have to be such a secret? And I got super frustrated. I know I talked about it yesterday when I ended up finding out that a lot of the big agents in my market actually cold call. And I only say that because I've had homeowners tell me that the agents have called them. And I'm like, oh my God, they cold call too. It's just they don't talk about it. So don't be like worried about it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be scared of it. It's like everyone does it. It's just like a hush hush thing. Um, and it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, like, I wish I had known this from the beginning. I wish obviously I can't go back and change time, but I'm like, if I was going to be strategic about it, at least like if I had a full-time job or a part-time job, I probably would have like been building up my pipeline through circle prospecting because it is going to take time. You're not going to get a listing in 30 days. If you do, that's awesome. That's magical. It did take me a few months. But from the moment I went full hard focusing on circle prospecting, which is like November of 20, because I was consistent September 6th, 2023, but I was still calling FSBOs and expireds then. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go really hard in November of 2023, circle prospecting. And then I remember it was crazy because I did get leads. It was February 1st of 2024. I don't know if it was February 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, but I remember it was the beginning of February, and I had 100 conversations from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on a Friday. And I got 8 leads that day. And to this day, I converted 3 of those leads to listings. One of those, I listed her in March. So I did get her 30 days, which was shocking. Everybody in my group was like, that never happens. But obviously, when I spent so much time calling, you end up having so many leads that they just start popping like popcorn. And then I got another one like in April, another one in May, and then I just started getting a ton. And so from July to December of 2024, they just all started like closing. So that's actually the last 6 months, how I got to 101 GCI. And I was like, oh my God, had I been doing this so long ago, I would have been doing so much better. So now I have all that momentum, like a snowball effect. And so that's actually why I have listings. I my seller to finally sign one of the offers we have. So we're officially pending on her property. And I just did a FaceTime earlier with a buyer from a condo. He's flying in tomorrow. He just wants to make sure. So hopefully I should get that condo pending as well. And then I have a closing tomorrow. So now I'm finally feeling like the consistency from my consistent efforts of cold calling. And then I was getting consistent listings, and now I'm getting consistent closings. And I'm not, and my mentor told me I'm not going to keep having the consistent listings and consistent closings if I'm not lead generating consistently. So if you are thinking about doing this for yourself, I would say, even if you have a full-time job or a part-time job, just do it consistently, even if it's for 30 minutes, even if it's for an hour after work or on the weekends. Like, just start dabbling and getting comfortable. And then hopefully you should have that same snowball effect to the point where you could like leave your full-time job and you're making more money than your full-time job. But I mean, it's the only way I've been able to figure it out. I tried so many other things: cold calling, Google pay-per-click ads, Facebook ads, mailers, door knocking, so much other stuff. Having an ISA, 5 different inside sales agents, which are people who cold call for you. I had 5 different ones. It didn't work out. 2 different companies, actually. And yeah, so now I'm just committed to doing what works. Oh, hey, Jennifer. Nice to have you. So I've been calling for 36 minutes. So I'm actually at 9 conversations. Mojo's been acting out today, and that's fine because we forgive Mojo. So I'm right now on the single line dialer. Normally I'd be on the 2-line dialer, but excuse me, I don't have my Ethernet cable plugged in. I actually have my Ethernet cable in my office, but my mom's still here. So I'm literally working in the corner of my bedroom with my laptop and my phone. So I feel like there's kind of a delay with the connection. So I downgraded, instead of doing the 2-line dialer, just doing the 1-line dialer. So that's why I'm kind of a little bit slow. I was kind of hoping a little bit more pickup rate, especially since it's the evening and people are like off of work. So we're just going to keep dialing. You know what I just realized? Oh my God, it just dawned on me. I don't know if I've ever said this in any of my other videos. So if you notice, my system is dialing and you can't hear a ring. I used to have Vulcan and I would hear the ring, and that used to give me anxiety, like the anticipation of somebody answering. But with Mojo, it's nice and quiet, so it's peaceful. But then it'll catch you off guard. So Mojo has this free feature you can toggle on, and it's the beep. So I manually turn on that beep, and I would recommend you as well. So that way you're not caught off guard, and at least it makes it easy. Like me talking to you, I know when they answer. Or like when I'm hanging out with my inner circle and we're all calling, once I hear that beep, I know someone answered. So then I mentally shift. Hold on. Where is it? Just kind of me saying like the hardest thing to do is be consistent. And if I'm here talking about being consistent, I might as well show you guys how consistent I can be, and you can too. And it's about just like, number one, being mentally prepared to do it consistently, because I had to prep like, oh my God, I'm going to go 90 days straight in a row consistently cold calling. I've never done that before, but I'm like, I just want to go big. Like, I have a huge start to the year. I just want to go like pedal to the metal, like go big, go home. And 11MO asked, Sundays too, question mark. And I said, unfortunately. And he said, awesome, I'll do the same. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to join me on this like 90-day, like cold calling, consistent, like challenge that I put myself up to. So that's very exciting. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And thank you so much. Shout out to Sergio, because he did comment. He said, you got it. So I appreciate the support. Okay, so I just hung up on him, and that's fine. I think most people would be like, oh, shoot, I hung up on him. I'm like, dude, I have 25,000 people to call. I'm okay. Like, it's fine. I can keep calling. Oh, what was I gonna say? Yesterday, let me see. Oh, Francisco, this was you. Okay, so Francisco had asked me yesterday, do you ever look to get their email just to throw the not selling people into your database? Your approach is so non-threatening that it seems you'd get an email every time you ask for it. Just wondering if there's a reason for not going for it. Super inspiring. Keep the great work. So my response to that was regarding open rates. That was primarily regarding open rates. So most of the people that I get email are my leads. So it's really nice to make sure they don't subscribe. So I primarily said, I haven't thought about, great advice. It couldn't hurt. Maybe I'll try. I figured those who give me their email truly want me to stay in touch and keeps my email open rate high and then subscribe rate low, so I don't get marked as spam. And what I do know is if you get like 30 to 40% open rate on your email from whatever service that you use, that's considered really good. My open rate can be anywhere between 60 to 80%, which is super high, but that's primarily because they're my leads. At one point in time, I did do like a market report automated, like an Autobot, HomeBot that they have right now, but I did this 3 years ago. And I lost listings because of that thing, but some people were opening them. So I want to say the people that were opening them, I just exported them and threw them into that database. Long story short, I have about, I don't know, it's like a few hundred. Hey, Flavio, nice to see you again. Thanks for joining. Good evening, everyone from Grandview, Washington. Love it. Love it. I'm originally from California. I don't know if you caught that yesterday. So I'm originally from the West Coast of the US. Francisco said, that makes perfect sense. Love your approach. I wouldn't change a thing. Oh, thanks. Was thinking about Ricky Carruth, but I'm liking your approach more. Yeah, I have listened to Ricky, here and there. He's not my vibe, but he is experienced. So I respect that about him. And he's a perfect example of someone who's made more than $1 million a year for what? I forget how many years he said, but like several years. Is it 8 years or something consistently? And I signed up for his Constant Contact one time and tried to do the templates, but I also listened to 6 other successful business people, one of them being Russell Brunson. And I've listened to his, I think, is it 4 books he has, Traffic Secrets. I don't know. He has like 4 different books, right? But his first one is about emails and website, I think. And when I heard that book, my brain just went like, and then whatever Ricky has on his email template, I'm like, that's not the same. They're totally different. So I just tried Ricky's for like 2 months, like Constant Contact, and like tried his template. And I wasn't really getting like a huge open rate. I was getting like 30% open rate, but I pivoted once I heard Russell Brunson about the whole email thing. And I don't know if you guys have heard of the daily newsletter, which was called The Hustle, with this gentleman named Sam Walter. I think he's like a 38-year-old. He sold his company for 20 million or 12 million. Huge newsletter email guy and copywriting. And so I learned a lot from him. So my emails are just text, super simple. And I will say, okay, now I'm going into email here. What am I doing? Anyways, I can go on and on about so many things. I have a website. I have my YouTube channel. I listen to Gary Vee. document, don't create. You're so funny. No, that's not it at all. I mean, yeah, absolutely cold calling. But I will say this, okay? I'm frugal. I like to keep all my expenses as low as I possibly can. Social media, I've taught myself as much as I possibly can about all these different platforms, whether it's X, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Facebook, I still struggle with. I was one of the I'm not going to age myself, but I used to have Facebook, then I canceled it, and then since I became a realtor, I back into Facebook, so I'm having to relearn how to operate Facebook. That one seems way harder than all the other platforms, but like Gary Vee said, it's free. Why aren't you going to do it? I don't run like Facebook ads anymore. I don't run Google pay-per-click ads anymore. I've never done the realtor.com leads. I don't pay homes.com to show up. I'm like, why? I might as well have my own website. But more importantly, like I just do everything possible to create a digital presence because people are going to Google you. And the reason I found that out is because when I went door knocking for 3 months straight, and this is a funny story. The only reason I went door knocking was to avoid the phones. And this was when I was in Jackie Kravitz's program for 3 months, and it was hell calling FSBOs and expireds and canceleds. And I was so rattled that I would call in the morning. I was like, okay, I didn't get my conversations in today, so I'm just gonna go door knock and like talk to people in person. So I door knocked on 1,200 doors here in my neighborhood. And I had just recently set up my Google business profile. And for the first month, I had 300 people search my name on Google because you get a Google report. And then like the following month, I had like 250 people. Like, what the hell? Because I would leave my business card at their door if they didn't answer, and I was passing out my business card. So I was like, oh my God, people are Googling me. So I freaked out. I was like, I got to make sure when anybody Googles me, like I need to have it all like successful realtor and like my sales and listings and this and that and pictures of selling houses. So that's when I realized, and that's also when I started learning about Gary Vee. So that's why I do a lot of social media, anything and everything for free. What's funny is when I come across a buyer agent and they put in an offer on one of my listings, I do Google them. I even look up their, what do you call it? Oh my God, I'm going blank. How many, if they've done transactions, like, are you new or are you experienced? Are you on a team or are you individual? And how long have you been in the business? So Google yourself. Make sure your online presence is like on point. I don't know if like you happen to have a job, you're part-time and you're trying to sneakily do real estate, then obviously you're probably not going to want to do that, but at least keep that in mind. Maybe practice with the platforms, maybe open up some accounts. But for myself, I'm a full-time realtor. And when I started real estate, my husband and I decided to just go all in, and we were living off of our savings, our IRAs, 401k, whatever you call it, till we figured this out. We were like, we got to figure it out. There's absolutely no other way that we're going back to a corporate job. 15 conversations in an hour and 43 minutes and for the most part, single line dialer, because Mojo's been acting out today, I should say. And it's maybe because I'm also on the Wi-Fi and not the Ethernet cable. And I hear the excuse because I was the first one in my inner circle to do an Ethernet cable because I'm just techie like that. And I was like, something's wrong. I'm on Wi-Fi. The dialer's on Wi-Fi. How can you make a call with Wi-Fi? You're going to have Wi-Fi issues. So I experimented and I ordered like a 40-foot cable Ethernet. and I would run it from my living room all the way to my office. Adela, I can't run an Ethernet cable all the way across my house. And I'm like, well, I do. I would rather do that than have the person on the other line aggravated at my lag time. Now I'm on Wi-Fi. So I used to every day, like, pull out the cable, because you're only really calling for 2 hours. It's not that big of a deal. Just pull out the Ethernet cable, have it run through the floor, and then when you're done, just pick it up. Like, it's not that hard. I'm not an excuse type of person. I'm just like, okay, let's figure out how we're going to do this. Like, I need solutions. You know, what's the problem? Let's fix this. Now I will say that Ethernet cable, we did figure out a way to just like run it across the baseboards and under the door and along the wall. And then just kind of like, I use these sticker little things to put it around the house. So now it's more stationary. The realtor that's killing in my area is a kid. He pays tons of advertising. Great. There's so many realtors I know in my area that blow through money. I'm not worried myself. I'm like, everybody does it differently. Some people referrals, some people divorce leads, some people advertising, some people mailers. I would just rather have a higher profit in my like my net at the end of the day. So if someone wants to spend $100,000 a year on advertising, let them. My first broker, he was proud of the amount of money that he would spend on a yearly. I was like, I would never, but I know he also doesn't like cold calling. So he would rather spend money than cold call. And I'm like, that's fine. I mean, that's too stressful for me. Like, you're trying to make 200, 300, 400,000 and you're spending 100,000. Whereas myself, I will eventually get there and not have high expenses. So if that's what people want to do, cool, let them. It's, you know, to each their own. If that's his strategy, cool. That's not going to be my strategy. I'd rather have, like, my mentor last time. I think it's on there if you want to watch it. It's that one-on-one coaching I had. I actually met with him yesterday, privately, of course, but he was like, there are some people in his market that make 3 million but spend 2 million. And so they net 1 million. Whereas he's a cold caller and he nets 1 million and he doesn't have to be chasing with money. So yeah, to each their own. I do it my way. I do cold calling and digital presence and my website and my YouTube. Hey, Derek. Good to see you again. Hi, Adela. Amen. Let them spend the money. Let's cold call. Hell yeah. I'm all in. I will sit here and cold call. And you'd be surprised if you ever talk to them, like, why don't you cold call? They're like, oh, hell no, I'm too afraid. I don't want to talk on the phone. I'm like, dude, you still have to talk to them. They will spend money on advertising and people call, and then they're rough around the edges because they don't even know how to get through the door. Whereas I would rather just have way more conversations through cold calling and qualify people. I think that's great if you have the extra income, like the extra, and you want to dabble into it and just to kind of level up. Because the way I saw it was, I wanted, like, my outbound efforts is cold calling, but I also want inbound. And now my inbound is through YouTube. I will say though, my inbound is now very buyer. And I realized that with YouTube, you are going to get buyer leads. I've yet to find a realtor who can show me A to Z, 1 through 10, how to convert sellers directly from YouTube. So in my position, I use my YouTube to get buyers, and I use it as a marketing tool for myself. So I send my YouTube channel to homeowners. And of course I do my walkthrough videos of my listings and put them on my YouTube channel. Not this one, obviously, my other one. For me to be consistent, to get consistent money, is through my outbound efforts, which is cold calling. Sergio said, yep, my broker says cold calling doesn't work, although they haven't really tried it consistently. There you go. Proof is in the pudding. Absolutely. I just, who was it? Something about like, don't take advice from people who haven't done something. So it's like, are you going to take advice, medical advice from a non-professional, or are you going to go to the doctor? Are you going to ask someone about electricity and how to install a fan from someone who doesn't know anything about electrical? Or are you going to go ask an electrician? So for myself, when it comes to real estate, I was like, I just got to figure out who's done it, who succeeded at it. Let me go talk to them. One of the things that I found really interesting, because of course I listen to so many people on YouTube. I know Alex Hermosi has talked about, he used to do the flyers and spend marketing. But then at one point in time, there was some guy, some young guy who was like, what if we just outbound cold called people? And he was like, well, I don't know how to do that. And the guy was like, well, I do. And then he ended up being their best sales guy. And then Alex Hermosi was like, oh my God, this cold calling thing works even for the gyms. And then if you listen to Daniel Priestley, who I do, said, if you want to get any business off the ground, no matter what it is, just doing any kind of cold outreach is good, whether it's cold email, cold DMs, cold texts, cold phone calls. All of that works to get your business off the ground, no matter what business it is. So if that's the case, I'm just going to listen to them. They're multi-millionaires. Okay. I think we all know that. Like Daniel Priestley has built multiple companies that are like 20, $30 million worth each. And he always says you want to start with cold outreach. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to listen to the professionals. Cold calling works 100%. I signed an expired lot for 700,000 last Monday. Woohoo. Hey, I think, is that the one that you told me about? You were like, I got an expired listing or expired appointment. If that is freaking awesome. Yeah, I think it is, because you told me about that. Anna Fisbo this morning, who said at the end of the call, after you sell this one, I can't wait to sell the rest. Oh my gosh, Derek, that is so exciting. Oh my gosh, another expired, LOL. Oh, yay. Look at Sergio. He said, dude, that's awesome. Yes, way to go, Derek. I love you sharing, because I circle prospect. Daryl does expireds and canceled and apparently FISBOs, and he's doing great. And I think, Derek, you said you had just started getting back into it, and look at how quickly he's doing it. Oh, there you go. I love this. Thanks, Sergio. Dude, why don't you guys jump on a Google Meet or like a Zoom room or something and like cold call together? I know, I mean, obviously you guys have to figure things out, but I keep saying, like, there's so many of you on here watching, and you all comment. You're going to get together, like my group and I. Just make sure that you're no more than 5. 5 should be the max, because it will get noisy. And a huge thing I've learned from this book, it's called The 12-Week Year, is no one can hold you accountable. No one. You can hold a baby, you can hold a phone, but no one can hold you accountable. The only person that can hold you accountable is yourself. So even in my inner circle group, yes, we get together and we call, but we do not, like, we are all very independent. And if we're by ourselves, we will still make the calls. So we hold ourselves accountable. It's a place where we get together, so we're not bored. So we can like chit chat and talk biz between people picking up the phone. So you can only hold yourself accountable. Don't hold each other accountable, but at least, like, it's nice, especially when you're in different markets, because you're not competitive and you're just so much more open as far as like what's working and strategies. And it's fun for us to listen to each other, because our script kind of evolves and we pick little things up from each other. Hey, Nancy. Hi, Della. Nancy here again. I'm so happy I found you. Your easy cold calling tips has inspired me to make calls. Thank you for inspiring. You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for all your comments. I absolutely am so blessed. And like the overwhelming comments, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even believe there's so many realtors looking for answers. And I'm so happy to share and show, because I really think this needs to stop being like a gatekeeping secret. So many realtors don't even talk about the fact that they cold call. It's like a secret. Yes, that was huge help. Awesome. Remine is included in my MLS, but the number accuracy is 50 to 70% accurate. You know what? Oh, I don't have Remine. I have to pay for it. So I'm not really sure how that works. I've heard of it and I looked into it and they're like, no, you have to pay. So I was like, whatever. You use a single or triple line dialer. So I pay for the triple line dialer, and to protect my phone number, I fluctuate. So right now I'm on the single line dialer, but that's only because Mojo's acting up. But I normally like to do the 2-line dialer, because the triple line dialer, you'll get too many hangups. Like people answer and they can't hear you and they just hang up. And the next time it calls, they don't answer. But I use the triple line. But if you're starting off, I would recommend just do the single line dialer for a while. But make sure I pay Mojo $10 a month for my line, but I also whitelist it. Make sure to whitelist it. I'm not hiding whatsoever, especially for FTC regulations. Like, I am filed and they know who I am and I'm calling. So I think that's the biggest thing. They just don't want us to be shady. They're not out to prevent business owners and people from making money. They're just out there to try and protect the consumer from fraudsters and scammers